All right. Time to get twisted. That's right. It's Twisted Minds Hero in the top left side of the map, REYNOR in the bottom left side, and we, of course, have a ZVP best of 5. It is one of the final matches, I believe the final match of, I think it's Group B or Bracket B, I guess. Bracket B? Bracket, thinking about cheese today. Bracket B from Dallas right now that we're commentating. So winner of this goes to the top 8. Loser will go to the loser's bracket and have one last best of 5 chance to qualify through. Hero is an overwhelming favorite. There are 3 best players in the world who are head and shoulders above everyone else going into this tournament. Their names are Hero, their names are Clem and Serral. And no one's close. And you could even argue there's a differentiation between Clem and Serral, and Hero is just a little bit lower than them on a slightly lower ledge. And then there's almost a pretty big drop off below that. But this is Passion REYNOR. This is the REYNOR who made it to, was it the top 8 of GSL? He made it into GSL. He did pretty good there. He had some good matches. I think it was the top 8 he made it to, if memory serves. And he had some good games. He's been rebuilding. He's been growing. The problem I have here is that REYNOR, like many Zergs, has a mental block around ZVP. He both is very good with Protoss and realizes that there are situations where Protoss is a bit more favored in the late game. Protoss has some very good defensive tools. And, he's kind of gotten his own head over it, feeling like, hey, a lot of these Protoss strategies are just really hard to deal with. But I think as he's been working on it, I do expect REYNOR to be both optimizing timing attacks, but also grinding some of the mind games. And I think as long as you keep a gambler's mindset in ZVP as a Zerg, you can still be highly effective. Because for me, here's the 2 tools that make ZVP a matchup which looks almost Zerg favored, right? Because there are certain players in certain matchups, head-to-head, they make this matchup look almost Zerg favored, right? And I would say it's a mixture of really clean early game and not being afraid to gamble on a wide range of very different timing attacks in the 4-minute to 8-minute range. If you have a really big range of aggressive strategies where the Protoss can't predict what you're going to do, and they're always wondering and scouting and they're paranoid about what's going to come next, and you have a good early game, you can crush even the best Protoss players. The problems, of course, arise from 2 main things. Number 1, a bad early game. I would say like Rogue and Dark were the 2 players who I give the biggest example of players where very clever in the mid game, but often their early game would undo their chances of making those timing attacks work because they would basically be too far behind from early mistakes, right? On the other hand, you'd have a guy like Serral who's perfect in the early game almost always. His big issues in the matchup would come from not being willing to gamble on a wide range of crazy attacks, and therefore a lot of his games will drag to late game even if he's ahead a little bit, and he has to play the grueling late game that, according to pretty much everyone, is Protoss favored. Now, of course, that's kind of funny because that example, we know that Serral still wins late game 99% of the time against, maybe not 99, but 70% of the time against Protoss, even from inferior positions. But the fact that he has to play it and it looks like such a crazy grind for him is because he's letting it go to that later stage, right? He's not winning in that mid game. And remember, if we want to go back to the basics of theory of PvZ, maybe we'll talk about that in the next games because we're already 3 minutes in and we've got a Void Ray opening for Hero going to deny scouting. But essentially, oh, 4 gas! Second Stargate Fleet Beacon. Oh, me, oh my. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see a Void Ray into Tempest opening. This is a build which REYNOR really struggled with against SOS in the GSL. Really struggled with. And a lot of players just aren't optimized with their response to it. This is a build order which fell out of fashion because it was something where every Zerg got really good at dealing with it. But Hero's like, dude, you looked garbage against it. You looked like you didn't know how to deal with this build before. I'm going to get you with it, and we're going to cause you some problems. Now, the best way to deal with this is to have an early lair. Something which a Zerg player who's more worried about a Zealot or Adept counterattack wants to delay because they just want to build drones, get a Roach Horn, get some gases. But REYNOR's made the adjustment. REYNOR's made the adjustment. He both builds an early Roach Horn and an early lair. And that is exactly the right call because these Void Ray openings, they don't hit you with this sharp pressure, which means you didn't actually need these Spore Crawlers in the main and natural. He's built them anyway because he thought there might be an Oracle afterwards, but notice he's only built 4 Queens. So you either go 5-6 Queens still, but you skip the Spores, or you build the 2 Spores, but you skip the Queens. He skipped the Queens, so he's cut corners on the defense, knowing this doesn't hit as hard as an Oracle. He knows the 3rd base isn't down at 4.5 minutes, which is really late. So he's like, look, you're either hiding a big Glaive Adept, a big Zealot attack, or you're going to go for that. Now, the problem for him is he doesn't have an Overlord. Ideally, you'd have an Overlord in this top right, so as soon as the lair's done, you can make an Overseer, scout, and confirm what it is. But as it is, oh, the Tempest's not even waiting. Tempest's not even waiting, it goes out, and the Ling sees it. Did he notice? Did he notice? Did he notice? Did REYNOR notice? I don't think he noticed. I think that Tempest slips by, and if it gets behind the base, it can one-shot these drones. No, he noticed. Spore Crawler's there. Where's the Spire? He doesn't have 200 gas yet. Oh, he doesn't have 200 gas, and these gases are exposed in the main base. He's not going to go for the quick fourth. He has a drone there waiting, but he's not going for it just yet. Tempest coming in. Spire finally starts in behind the third base. Very safe area, I would say, for that. Spore Crawler is going to dance in and out. The Queens should be going forwards to try and punish this Tempest. You just want to force him to spend more time running back and forth rather than shooting. That's the aim of this micro. You're never going to kill the Tempest unless Hero makes a massive doo-doo, but you can waste a lot of his damage just by dancing in and out. Okay, yeah, that's decent. And then he comes back and you want to turn. You want to go in here? I think as REYNOR, you want to force him to pull back a little bit more. He's building 2 more spores. Oh, that's interesting. I don't think this is a great expenditure of money because they're going to do 80 damage a shot, which means that the Tempest 4-shot Spore Crawlers. They kill spores so easily once that upgrade's done. 1 gas does go down. He is already on 4 gases on the natural and third, so 5 gases total mining. But as you can see, not a great use for transfuses on those spores, in my opinion. And it's going to buy him a few seconds, and maybe that's all he needs. He's still building drones. The Spire, 3/4 of the way done. Third base is up and mining Void Ray Zealots and batteries are there. He's building more Void Rays behind this as well as going for that Twilight Council. Sorry guys, accidentally jumped over to that side. Didn't mean to do that. But he doesn't want to lose all these queens. This is the problem, is often just as the Spire's popping, Zergs lose every single queen because now there's enough Tempest to almost one-shot these queens. But he's only hitting the Extractor, not hitting the Hatchery. Also, where are those Corruptors? 6 Corruptors are going to start. REYNOR, he's got 7 Corruptors building. But look at that, they're one-shotting queens now. This is a disaster. He's trying to keep the Hatchery alive. If he keeps the Hatchery alive, it might be worth losing every queen. But if he loses every queen and the Hatchery, and then Hero just recalls, Hero's going to be in a great spot. REYNOR traumatized by this build right now. He does run Lings into the main base. Ooh, he's going to get quite a few probes there. Every queen goes down, and now the Hatchery's going to go down as well. Oh, he did get 8 probes. It's more damage than I would have expected. He's up in workers, and his 4th base is almost finished, but dude, these Tempests. He sees the Corruptors, right? He's got a recall. Hero, recall. Oh, Hero. Okay, a little slow on the recall. I thought he would have done that earlier. Losing 2 Tempests is super sloppy there. Most players would just recall straight away, but he wanted to wait till he saw the Corruptors. Gives away 2 Tempests because of it. That being said, he's got Blink and Flux Veins on the way. Now, Flux Veins, Void Ray speed, it's good, kind of, but it is a bit awkward as well. Hero going to mine off his 6th gas. He's resaturated his main. No 4th Nexus for him just yet. Also, what's his gateway count? He's going to go up to 5 gateways momentarily. Now, REYNOR building Roaches, building Corruptors. He's also going to saturate these gases. He's rebuilding his main. He's on 73 workers. Does he just do a Roach Ravager Corruptor timing? Because that's the most standard thing here. Roach Ravager Corruptor. Normally, the reason that timing's so scary is because you've got Mass Queen from the early game, and you can transfuse the Corruptors like mad, and they just don't die even to Void Rays, right? Especially if you bait the Prismatic Alignment ahead of time. I'd say the problem here is that he doesn't have that Mass Queen. His supply is way too close. And to me, it feels like it should be easy for Hero to defend. Hero, if he can take a 4th base, the problem for Hero is there's no scouting. He needs to energy recharge a sentry so he can hallucinate. Because he just has no idea what REYNOR's doing right now. He's going to take a 4th on the left side. He's going to try and move over there to defend. That means his natural will be a little exposed if his army centers itself down here. 3 more drones are on the way. REYNOR's not super duper all in. He's going to take the gold base. Void Rays are like, hey, we want to kill something higher value. He doesn't just want to kill the Hatchery, so he's going to dive for the bottom right. Recall's available, right? Dude, recall's not available. Oh my god, Hero is such a drunkard. I mean, this would be such a clever move if he waited 20 more seconds for it. He's going to get the Hatchery, but he's going to lose 5 Void Rays. Okay, he gets 1 Corruptor, 2 Corruptors. Can he get 3? 3 Corruptors and a Hatchery for 5 Void Rays. I don't know. I don't think that's worth it, because right now, as Hero, you just need to survive. You've got Storm, Stalker, Tempests. You needed the Void Rays to stop the Corruptors diving. Now your Tempests are worthless. You need to turtle. Why is he moving on the map? Is Hero... What? Why would you push with this army? These Tempests are just going to be free kills. Is he actually... Hero! Okay, Hero and nonsensical decisions. Name a more iconic duo, ladies and gentlemen. This is insane. I guess he wants to use the recall now. Okay, he does have recall. As long as he clumps and recalls, it's fine. But if he stands and fights, this is an insane person's decision. Hero, he's getting jumped on. Where's his recall? Where's the recall? Force fields are cute, but oh my god, what's he doing? The storms are really nice on the Roaches. He just gives away the Tempest, though. Did he not have recall energy? I mean, I guess he loses the Tempest, but wins the ground fight pretty bad. Is that a good fight? Maybe. Maybe it was. I mean, he gets another hatchery snipe. Reynor's only on 3 bases. Hero's making this game so risky and so messy. As I said, you're massively favored against Reynor in late game. Reynor is not a great late game player. No offense to Reynor, but he, like most Zergs, is not Serral. And every single player that's not Serral feels lost in the late game of this matchup. Feels like they don't have a chance to win. If you know they feel like that beforehand, you could just force late game. But of course, Hero, never a player to play safe, never a player to hedge his bets. He's a player who will do crazy, random, psychotic moves for the joy of it. High Templar Zealot coming south. I think Hero is still ahead in this game. He's on 80 probe 4 base against a 3 base mining Zerg. Reyn is back to 4 bases now, but yeah, pretty awkward. Stalkers should be able to save this +2 surely, right? Oh, yeah, he does. Gets 1 Corruptor, gets a 2nd. Might be worth building a Tempest here just to chip at these Corruptors and bait them out. The fact that you've already got 2 Stargate Fleet Beacon means you've already got the ultimate late game army. So if you can just kind of add Immortals, add some more Archons and stuff, Hero's army is way better long term. He still wants to attack with this army. I think it's not bad to bait Reynor into Storms. He's just got to be careful about, you know, getting swarmed because his army is going to be much better long term. Right now it's still a very basic army. He blinks into the Ravagers. Crazy person. Hero trying to force a fight right now. He does have Stalkers defending there. Corruptors are going to pee on his left 4th base. He's going to shove for it. He thinks he's got a Storm timing to win into Mass Roach Ravager, one of the best defensive armies in StarCraft 2. A crazy choice for Hero, but this is what gives Hero his success, right? It's that mixture of YOLO crazy attacks no one else would do here. Most Protoss players would just be camping. He's like, dude, I can trade you down with Stalker Storm. And he seems to be doing pretty well. Didn't get the 4th Nexus. Roaches are going to go down in the natural. His army just F2'd home and split itself up. Uh-oh. And now he's going to get overrun. He's got to get out. He's got to blink these Stalkers away and run. Right now, he has to scramble home. Stalker's still rallying forwards. This is a very scrappy situation. He just lost 10 probes in his natural. He's still got 70 probes, so he's fine here. But very chaotic. And he's not rebuilt any High Templar right now. He's making Plasma Shields rather than +3 attack. No second Forge. I mean, he's got to just make mass High Templar, take a 5th base and progress. But Hero right now is caught up in the adrenaline of the game. And if there's one sort of game Reyn is good in, it's an adrenaline-pumping, scrappy micro multitasking war. He's going to try to transition a Hive and Lurkers at 12 minutes. Reynor is in the most... I mean, I hate to use gamer words, but I feel like, you know, cucked is kind of the position that I would describe. If I was in Reynor's shoes right now, I'd be like, well, I'm screwed. Like, what am I going to do? I'm stuck on Master Roach Ravager 13 minutes, and he's got 4-base Storm. He's got 2 Stargate Tempest. He's got good upgrades. Like, what do you do with this army? Even the Stalkers alone should do pretty well against this. But once again, a very scrappy engagement for Hero. Does feel like Reynor's kind of cornered here, but he's getting a good fight. Corruptors do get pushed back by the Stalkers again. Reynor's doing a really good job of just using the P distraction in the main. The threat of peeing on the buildings is actually keeping Hero back for now. Hero does take a 50. Blinks forward into the Biles. Okay, does kind of dodge them. Really good zoning by Reynor. Reynor is one of the best players when you give him a handful of Ravagers at just surviving and making it hard to push into him. I've seen him make so many comebacks over the years against Protoss players with this comp. I just don't believe he has a chance here. There's more Stalkers than there are Roaches and Ravagers. There's Storm behind it. There's Immortals rallying in. There's 12 gateways. There's no forward warp in point. The one big weakness for Hero. Lurkers are morphing. Will they be out in time? No Lurker range ready just yet. The Biles, though, to hold the high ground. He's doing a really good job of using the angling. Corruptors are going to try to come in from this side again. Reynor's multitasking is exceptional, but he's finding himself behind against these 2 Stargate Tempest openings consistently, even with the pretty fast lair. I mean, just seems like this build is hard to deal with. Reynor's going to go across with a Roach counter, finds an Immortal rallied out in the middle of the map. Sorry, guys, we just accidentally flipped the scoreboard there. My bad. Immortal gets picked off, as does the hatchery. 4th Nexus goes down. I think he was maxed out. Hero does jump on the army. He's got a 5th over there. Should be able to just rebuild that, but it's just wild to me because he keeps F2ing the Stalkers away, that he hasn't left like a Stalker here and a Stalker here, or just Stalkers on the high ground, blink him to the low ground when he needs them. But this is Hero in a nutshell, right? Making the game sloppier, scrappier, messier than most Protoss players would need to. Most players are focused on cleaning things up, mitigating risk. That's not Hero's style. Gonna try and push forward with Lurkers there. He should be able to break into the bottom right, but oh my god, the Lurker trap! He holds fire for a second, then he unleashes them on the Stalkers, and Hero throws away a lot of units. Meanwhile, Ling's getting into his base. Dude, Reynor is fighting a scrappy war right now. He's gonna pee on the Nexus in the main. Recall happens to the natural. These Lings do get trapped. Battery heal. He gets rid of one of the Corruptors. I wish he would just build a Void Ray to deal with it, man. It's crazy that he's letting this distraction exist. Because Hero is a player who is Oh, look at this. He's building another fleet beacon in a Stargate, guys. He's forgotten he already is on 2 Stargate fleet beacon. He's actually getting so tilted by the Corruptor harassment that he's forgotten where he is in this game. Hero doesn't realize he could have built Tempests 5 minutes ago. He's not done it. He's not noticed the Nidus Worm. REYNOR tilting him with Corruptor harassment. The Stalkers blink onto the Lurkers. He thought it was just Hydras on their own. Oh my god! These guys getting hammered as well. There's not even anything in the Nidus Worm. If Lurkers pop out there, he's legitimately screwed. Hero right now is absolutely messing up really hard in this game. The Ravager Lurker pushing forward. He's had such a good position from the opening. But similar to that series against Cyril back at the World Championship last year, where he opened up with Tempest, got a massive lead, and then kind of lost 7 Void Rays to a set of Corrosive Biles. He's leaving openings left, right, and center. He's just realized he can build Tempests now. Tempests are the hard counter to Lurkers. He could have built them. He opened with Tempests. I mean, this is crazy. I can't believe REYNOR's getting back in this game. He's got the base over here. He's got the main base as well. This is ridiculous. REYNOR right now fighting from behind, refusing to give up. The man truly has 9 lives, fighting like a cat right now. Zealots trying to come in. We'll finally be able to deal with these Lurkers with the Stalkers blinking behind them as well, but not without heavy cost. And of course, at the same time, REYNOR pounces on the front. He says, oh, you cleaned up the back door? Guess what? Goodbye. Getting rid of the Cybercore, getting rid of the gateways. He's pushing in relentlessly. Nidus Worms to reinforce as well. Changelings kind of semi-blocking. He could hold position them there to be really effective. Ravager Hydra biling over the army. He's got more army that's going to reinforce. REYNOR is not even maxed here, despite a series of wonderful trades. He's almost tied up the units lost. He was down 5,000-6,000 earlier on in this game. Tempest just died to Corrosive Bile. Second one dies to Corrosive Bile. Storms on the right side, not able to break up this ramp. And oh my gosh, REYNOR has made the impossible comeback. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe it. He just, that Corruptor squad actually broke Hero's brain. Just by forcing Hero to multitask so much. And you know what he did? He forced Hero into a series of redundant APM cycles. And this has been the big thing. If you can force Hero to defend, he has to do 5 times more actions than you. And he's a very fast player. When you're playing one of the fastest Zergs in the world, you cannot keep up in this game. You can see his last unit's getting gunned down. That's his last chance of defending. And REYNOR here, still up 30 supplies. Still got a base mining there. I guess these 2 bases aren't mining. Dude, if this wasn't such a complete disaster, Hero would have still defended. Wait, maybe he still can? Corruptors get the Tempest? No, he can't. He can't. He just has no production left. He was still close to defending after everything went wrong. But let me talk about those redundant APM cycles. So, and he has to go and grab new ones. And you see he's got to send these Stalkers back and split them off. And then he's got to, and then he's like, okay, we'll chase that. We'll chase that. And you'd say, just leave a Stalker or 2 here. And he does for a moment, until the moment his adrenaline kicks in, and he immediately, you can see, so what I'm talking about, this seems really subtle. If you're a low-level player, especially, you might not realize, he pulled all the Stalkers back, grabbed 4, clicked them here. Seconds later, he clicks them there again. Seconds later, he F2s and brings them to the front because a fight happens. So when I'm talking about redundant APM cycles, this is something that happens a lot if you end up stuck having to constantly give the same order repeatedly, one after the other, when just one order would have cut it. So a player who's more organized splits these Stalkers the first time, puts them on a different control group. They usually have a designated like defense or off-lane squad, or however you think of it. It's kind of a non-main army group that hangs out on its side. Hero doesn't do that. He might have put them on a different control group, but because he then immediately F2s, because his adrenaline's pumping, he's playing a bit too fast, a bit too panicky, he multiple times did this where he would pull them away, send them back, pull them away, send them back, pull them away, send them back. And essentially, you can just see, look at this, he's warping more Stalkers in there. Why is he warping in Stalkers here, guys? Because he's just pulled these Stalkers to the front. Now that's lucky because they end up blocking these roaches, but this happens repeatedly. And then these guys, he F2s those to the front, doesn't? So he's constantly going back to his main to warp in units, and they don't even defend his Nexus from getting taken down by Caustic Spray. And then he's got to warp in over here as well, but he loses it, right? This is the one that he loses. No, this one, another big Stalker warp in there. And he ends up on mass Stalker, whereas it would be much better if he was going Tempests. He was going Immortal, double Robo much earlier. He's just warping in Stalkers, so he's making a lot more Stalkers than he really should. He F2s those guys away from the roaches in the middle of a fight because this fight is so sloppy. This was one of Hero's sloppiest games, and this is why you do not want to get in an action-packed war against REYNOR. REYNOR is one of the fastest players in the world. He's at 650 APM, Hero's under 300. This was Hero being very inefficient this game. REYNOR had a bad early game, but he did everything he needed to with these Corruptors to keep forcing Hero to basically get tangled up in his own feet. Really nice game 1 comeback for REYNOR. All right, guys. Hero, with a very Hero-style game 1, twists himself up and does mess up in game 1. No ifs or buts about it. That was a huge throw. REYNOR in the top side of the map is going to go for that extractor trick nice and early. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to mince words, guys. Like, the moment he sent those Void Rays down the right side of the map without checking his recoil timing, he also flew over the gold hatchery. He could have just turned around and gone and hidden in the corner. The Corruptors wouldn't have been able to catch him. He had Flux Veins. So that made no sense. REYNOR played really well, though, to get out of trouble. But it's a worrying pattern. This is kind of what happened with REYNOR against SOS and GSL. He fell behind in the openings, and then he had to, like, dig himself out of a grave. What's cool is this is classic REYNOR. REYNOR is used to falling behind and making comebacks, and having that classic REYNOR flair to just fight so hard from behind is so cool. But I think in 2025 StarCraft, especially with like ZVP late game being where it is and him being so unfavored there, I don't think he can let this keep happening, right? He can't just continually let himself fall behind. Like, he's going to have to clean up his early game, or this is just going to be an impossibly hard series, because Hero had a good early game. He got ahead, and he had a nice play out of it. Now, REYNOR is 100% going to queen walk, guys. He's going to move through the middle to get a boost from these speedy zones. And he's going to go straight up this ramp, I think, and then hit this natural. I could be making things up. Apparently, someone was telling me Queen Walk's kind of cool on this map because of the speed zones, and I was like, oh, I never thought about that. I don't know if it's actually good or not, but I wouldn't be surprised for REYNOR to hit, you know, like Overlord speed, Queen drop maybe, Rotravageling. I actually really love the Queen Walk Zergling Flood build. It's very rare. I haven't seen it enough at pro level to really know the ins and outs of it. I know that whenever I've used it, it's had a very high success rate on the ladder, where you just send your first 3 queens across the map and just mass speedling behind it. It's a pretty shocking timing just to cancel the Protoss third base and mess up their build. Sometimes it snowballs, wins the game. Hero just chilling, harassing the mineral patches, dancing around here. We are going to see Ling speed starting up at 215 after 2 queens, 2 zerglings. Only 2 zerglings means if Hero wants to, he could block the third base. The question is, which third does REYNOR even go for? This one or the left one? Left one is so far to get your queens out to. You really need to send creep there. On the other hand, do you really want to expand towards a Protoss player and then have a ledge where the oracles can hit you from the high ground as well? I mean, the third base up front is better for the queen walk, you could argue, because it's closer, but it's not really lined up with the speed zones, so I don't know. Stargate's on the way. First step coming forwards for Hero. Remember, most players would get tilted by the sort of silliness that Hero did in that last game, but Hero will not. Hero is untiltable. He looks frustrated when he loses games like that, but it's like he just deals with it so quickly and just moves on to the next game. I wish I spoke Korean so I could speak more fluently. Me and Hero's communication usually pretty broken, but I'd love to like ask him like about his life philosophy, because I feel like, oh my gosh, oh no, REYNOR gets us around on the adept. Big doo-doo there for Hero. Bit of a micro mistake. But yeah, I feel like he's so many players. You know, your ability to deal with frustration, such a big part of being a good StarCraft player, and he's one of the best. It just feels like he gets frustrated and then just instantly flows into the next moment without... You can't see the trauma. You can't see the hang-ups. You know, some players, you can see the trauma of their previous games in the next game. Feels like that's never happened to Hero. I actually feel like REYNOR, when he had his biggest slump, you could kind of see the trauma in his play, right? He was trying to hedge his bets. Looked like he was afraid of losing. I don't think I've ever seen Hero look like he was afraid of losing in his gameplay even once. Like, you guys show me a game where Hero looks scared in the way he's playing, I will be very happy to find that rare example. Be very cool. Oh, a little bit slow turning on the laser, but he will defend the pylon. Adept comes out of the wall off as well. Tries to lure the Zerglings into his base. Very Hero. It's the most Hero thing ever, right? He's like, please, walk into my base. I have an oracle on top of it already. If you go in, you're not getting out. REYNOR wise enough not to take the bait. Twilight Council into 3 more gateways. Looks like a Glaive Adapt timing to me. Yeah. This is a very quick Twilight. It could still be just a quick blink, but this does look like Glaives. I'd say this map positioning is really bad for Glaives. I'd say it's also really hard to do a blink push, because like this base is so far away. This base is so far away. If REYNOR takes this front 4th, you can deny it though. I think denying this base with blink is okay. Maybe then you can blink into the main or something as well. No forge. Builds a battery. Are we just going to 8-gate blink? It doesn't feel like a good map for it. I don't know why, guys. Maybe, like, it just feels like it's a pretty big distance, even though Last Fantasy is an awkward map to defend. But, hey, it could work. How many oracles is that? 3 oracles as well. I'm stop probing for now. Just a very late forge if he is planning to go up to Psystorm and play defensive. For now, though, 4-gate blink. He's going to start warping in Stalkers and probably moves across the map pretty soon. But already +1 melee on the way. Heavy Lings forward for REYNOR. REYNOR's got a good defensive setup. Worker count's pretty even between the two. Oracle just chilling in between the Zerg bases. Idling a little bit. Sees the Roach Warren come up. 5th gateway goes down. How many more? Hero's build orders, it's so funny because, like, okay, he is going to go for the 8-gate. Yeah, he's going to attack this angle, blink into the main maybe, but definitely attack this side. That Overlord sees it, though. Yeah, REYNOR sees this. If he can snipe this probe and the pylon, this will be massive. Ling's still threatening the 3rd as well. You got to get the probe. You get the probe. Oh! Oh, he's not. He's going for a flank. Oh, I'd say, okay, maybe a missed opportunity. He wants to surround on the Stalkers. Oh, did they already use blink? They already used... Wait, Blink's... Oh, Blink's ready. Okay, Blink's ready, but... Oh, he already killed 2 of the Stalkers. More of them are going to go down. REYNOR happy to tank a bit of damage here. This is a slow warp in. If he targets those Stalkers, they die while they're warping in. Massive losses. But the Lings are getting ravaged by the Oracles. Was REYNOR too cocky here? I don't know, man. Stalkers are such valuable units. I mean, Units Lost Type tells us that was a good trade. REYNOR maybe should go for Ling counters now. If he can keep countering the 3rd, that could be good. There is a Forge and 4 more gateways coming in. That's going to take it to 9-gate. Forge, there are more probes being built, even though Hero's already oversaturated. I guess he's trying to saturate his 4th gas now. He's going to try and create this awkward blink into the main position, which is actually really cool to see how he works this angle. His Stalker's trying to chip away. Queens, of course, have transfuse. And Stalker's going to blink away. Triple Oracle, though. Moving forward, 3 Spine Crawlers building. Roaches, Ravagers, Zerglings trying to build 60 army supply for REYNOR. And the door's wide open! Oh, Hero! Just the continual, absolute inability. I've mentioned so many times, why does he not leave a probe on hold position in the wall? He did it for a few weeks there. I swear he did. I kept talking about how he's got to leave a probe on hold position on his wall. It means he doesn't need to change anything else he does in this play. He's building a Nexus outside REYNOR's base right now. Hero, are you drunk, mate? What is this? He leaves the door open, has to recall his all-in. Why? What is this to recall back to the front? The Nexus gets killed, not even cancelled. Is Hero drunk? Is he? It's jet lag, guys. Remember, guys, if you're a Hero fan, it's jet lag. This is crazy. This is insane. I mean, I've got to call it like I see it, guys. Hero just looks like he's drunk. He's just doing insane things. REYNOR's playing good StarCraft, but, like, the door being open is just wild. In that situation, when you're all in with an 8-gate, with no units at home, like, that is the one time you cannot afford to leave your door open. You're going to take a 4th up north. Still, the door's wide open, by the way, while supply blocked. Okay, warps in this time to block it. If I sound frustrated, guys, it's because I am. Hero is one of the most frustrating players to watch. I see you guys commented all the time, and I don't think that's just a reflection of my admittedly overly critical commentary. He's so good sometimes, and sometimes he just does things that make no sense. And I think this gateway attack idea was good. The 4th Nexus, I don't know why you would ever take that 4th. It just, to me, makes... I mean, I guess it's to energy recharge Oracles on the front. Yeah, I mean, is that really worth it, though? I mean, I guess he could mine from it and just create a no-go zone, but it does feel like styling on your opponent. I mean, maybe the 4th Nexus that... Look, if it worked, it would have looked like genius. If he's refilling an Oracle on energy every 60 seconds and his Oracles are just ruining REYNOR, that's actually really big. And he keeps building Oracle Stalker. So that was his plan. Okay, all right, we'll give credit where it's due. If the door wasn't open, this might have been a really cool strategy. I think I might... Yeah, I think it was actually a really cool, smart strategy. But just bad execution, leaving his door open. Oracle's coming in, trying to spam stasis traps, but they're getting taken down by Bile. None of them landing. Mass Ling on the 4th base. Huge counters for REYNOR. And the Queens take out yet another Oracle. Hero trying to force stasis traps on the front, but he's getting a little bit ham-fisted in how he's executing this. His Stalker's getting left behind. 4th base is actually going to get defended by Zealots, which is an amazing play. I thought that 4th was done for. Only loses 7 probes. Dude, Hero's still in this. If he pulls these Stalkers back, which he absolutely doesn't mean to be fighting right now. He's not watching, he's not watching, he's not watching. Does lose a few more Stalkers, but he keeps the gateway up on the front. Stalker Zealots back over there. 70 workers to 63. Hero has a 4th base. +2 melees on there, though. And with Banelings to deal with Zealots and +2 melee Zerglings to wreck Stalkers, he hard counters the composition. Hero needs Storm. If he can get Storm, this pivots, but right now the Oracles, they were his saving grace, and he lost 3 Oracles. He's still got 2 here. He's gonna have to turn on those lasers. Goes for the Ravagers rather than the Lings, knowing they're the bigger target. Recalls the Stalkers, gets himself 1 Ravager, gets himself a 2nd. Those are pretty high value targets, not bad, not bad. But he can't be losing these Oracles, of course, as he goes after these Ravagers even deeper. Massling getting ready for a counterattack. Hero, dude, what a mad dog. He's gonna take this from a ridiculously big series of mistakes to now being in a very playable position. If he just transitions into splash damage, he's going 6 gas, no Templar Archives just yet. He's just spending his gas on Oracle, Stalker, Zealot. This is the sort of fight where, like, because Reynor's ahead now and he's got Banelings, I do worry we're about to see Hero get smashed. Templar Archives goes down, he needs 2 minutes. If Reynor forces a fight before 13 minutes, I think he wins this game. But if he gets a bit too paranoid, a bit too afraid of attacking, and Hero adds a bunch of Templar with Storm, I think he's okay in this game. But he needs to survive to 13 minutes and chrono the heck out of Storm to get there on time. The Oracles are doing a really good job. They're going to buy a lot of time, actually. But Hero might be able to survive and force this to late game. And that should favor him, right? We've seen he looks really good with his Tempest in the late game in some matches against Serral. Gets rid of an Extractor there. Losing a lot of energy, though. You've got to be careful about wasting energy on these Oracles. And there we go. Templar Archives is done. He's got a Chrono Storm right now. Catches a few Lings and Banes. He's going to try and take a 5th next to the main base. I actually like the idea of expanding along this edge towards. I didn't like the forward one at first, but I like this 5th base. You just need to defend this angle down here. Templar warping in, still no Storm. He's just going to play Archons, no Storm? Archon, Zealot, Stalker, Oracle. Spellcasters are for cucks and tryhards, says Hero. He's like, I'm not a cuck, I'm not a tryhard. I want to cast spells, that's for losers, man. I'm going to go +3 attack now. The Oracles see that Hydras are coming out, which are going to give anti-air control to Reynor. Reynor going to go to a very belated hive. He's got a big army. But can he find the trade? Oh my gosh, the Zealots so clumped against the Banelings. The Lings with +2 and +1 carapace do get a really nice surround. Can he take out an Archon as well for good measure? Probably. Big army coming in. Storm's not even started. The Oracle's going to try to come back. If he can overwhelm the Hydras, maybe, just maybe, Hero can defend this. But the bottom side, 5th base down there, does go down. Hero keeps pivoting from one base to another base attempt. But I think Reynor's found the engagements he needs. He is 3,500 or 3,000 resources, ahead on the units lost. And that 4th Nexus goes down, doesn't get cancelled. Biles on the front as well. This is a wild, wild match right now. One where Reynor wants to finish it off before Storm hits the field. Little does he know, Storm is not even on the way. It is an Oracle Gateway Man army dodging the Biles. The Oracles will take down the Hydras. Unfortunately, all he's got is a handful of Stalkers and a cannon. And that is an immense amount of Zerglings tearing down his economy. Those Lings just hold position in there. They're going to kill a lot of probes. 27 go down. Northern base has already been cleansed. Maybe some Banelings or something hit that before. And Hero here making this series scrappy. This is so interesting. I didn't mention it at the start. Historically, Hero preys on Reynor. I think it's about a 2-to-1 or even greater win record in his favor, maybe 70%. It's a very big head-to-head win favor. Hero always seems to catch Reynor off guard and find ways to surprise him. And Reynor often looks tilted because he's like, I just can't predict what this crazy guy's going to do. But in this series here, man, leaving that door open, I feel like undid so much hard work. If that door was not open, we might have actually seen a really cool strategy come to play where you're just like, look, I'm harassing here, blinking the high ground, blinking the low ground, constantly building Oracles, constantly building Stalkers and Zealots. You get forced to take this base, which is really open harassment. I'm just constantly trading on the front and just putting you in this desperate situation where essentially over time, Oracles and Blink Stalkers come out on top. All right, guys, game 3, and he's got to make a 3-game comeback. He's going to try and block the hatchery. If Reynor skips the Overlord and goes for the hatchery before he can block it, it'll be God tier. 100 minerals, skip the Overlord, skip the Overlord. Nah, Reynor gets the Overlord, which means he will get blocked. He's going to have to go take his 3rd base, but this is not cheap. Notice Hero had to send a 2nd probe down to build the pylon. This is not a bad wall. I do think if the pylon's 1 space further forward, it's a slightly more safe choke point. On the other hand, that would make the pylon a bit more exposed, so it is what it is. Now, Reynor is going to come down. Not going down here very early, So he has to build 2 more drones and go for that 17 hatchery on the 3rd base. Not the end of the world. Reynor's okay with this. I do really like the way Serral, I think, has realized that his win percent's way higher when he takes his natural, though. So Serral really is very, very top tier at predicting. And I think Reynor is pretty good at that as well. I'd say Reynor very influenced by Serral. Him and Serral influence each other a bit, right? So I think Reynor's also... The Basilisk boys in general, and they've got Trigger on their side, helping them with the brainstorming. Very good at kind of predicting when they should rush the hatchery to stop this Protoss attempt at delaying. Gateway does go down there, and then I guess he goes... surely not Cybercore there. I guess he goes Cybercore here. I'm so curious. You don't build it behind the pylon, surely. Surely you don't build your Cybercore behind the pylon. Hero, please. Oh, it's so ugly! I get he can build another gateway in front and it turns into a very solid wall later on. It's just so vulnerable at the start. That pylon, oh my gosh. It just makes you want to build 12 early Zerglings and focus that pylon down or do a Bane Bust or something, right? Oh my gosh. It's such an ugly wall off. Hero doing hero walls. I love it. I love it. Double Queen on the way. You do want to get a pretty quick Ling speed here to help defend that 3rd. Dude, Hero's bullied him off that mineral patch really well. Nice harassment for him, but he knows Lings will be out soon, so he's going to back away. Pulls the workers off gas, and Ling speed starts at 215 right on time. Very clean opening for Reynor. Now, this Overlord's close enough that he can see what pops out of the gateway, but he can also take refuge on this little Tetris piece of high ground if it isn't a Stalker that pops out. We do have Adept into Oracle. Very rarely do people double Chrono Adepts. I think double Chronoing Adepts across the map is a great idea if you've blocked their base. Please double. Double, 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 double. You know you want to. But it looks like it's not going to be a double Chrono on the Adepts. Just going to double Chrono Probes now. Actually, doesn't even double. He's saving. So he wants to insta-Chrono the Oracle when it starts. All right, we're going to have early Oracle pressure. And otherwise, Chronoing the Probes a good amount as well. We'll check in on that natural, see if he Chronos it one more time. Adept here, just hanging out front. Gonna do the safety shade. Uh-oh. And Reynor, can you pull back? Good pullbacks on those Zerglings. You don't want to let the Adept get anything. And we are going to see Oracle gets chronoed instantly, and he already has another chrono. So yeah, we're going to see straight into 2 Oracles. The Adept second one does stay at home, so doesn't go for the double Adept. I would have liked to see that double Adept, but because he leaves it at home, no second chrono, Reynor only builds 6 Zerglings. He'd have to build up to 12 for that extra chrono. But Hero playing more carefully with the ground units. It's the air units he's going to want to lean into as he goes for a second gateway. Second Oracle now starts up. Fills up the energy immediately on the first Oracle, which we do love to see. Ooh. Probe pulls away. Adept comes out. He's trying to defend the probe, but the Adept ends up getting herself surrounded. Only kills one Zergling. Not a good trade. And Reynor's into the base as well. Hero caught with his pants down. He's got to do some damage on the other side of the map right now. He has to do some damage. He can't just clear a creep shimmer and deny mining on the natural. That's not enough. Oracle comes out though. Does allow him to return to mining. Hasn't really done any damage. He's up probes. He's supply blocked quite badly on 54 while microing this. Losing these Adepts might actually help him. It at least allows him to continue probe production. 3rd Nexus, already delayed 30-40 seconds. Oracle, is only going to find 1 drone, almost dies. Reynor's all over this early game. He's mauling him. 12 Zerglings, 5 Queens, 6th Queen about to pop. 5 more drones coming, honestly. Reynor might even feel confident dropping a 4th hatchery in the next 30 seconds. He's got so much momentum in this game. He's going to go Evo Chamber for melee, which is such a good start. If he can get a quick 4th up as well, yeah, he's going to do it. He's going to do it. He just knows he's ahead. He's killed a few Adepts. He's taken no damage. Crazy sneeze there. Why not take that 4th is what I was about to say before I sneezed and had to crash mic my mute. I crash mute my mic. I had to quickly mute my mic while that Oracle crashes. Sorry. +1 melee's on the way. Forge and Twilight's there. 2 more gateways coming in to take it to 4 gates. The Oracles are finding nothing in this game. Oof, 2 emotional players, Hero and Reynor. 2 players who, when they're on, they are the best players in the world. Pretty much second to none. Any matchup as well. But when they're having a bad day, it can snowball. And right now, it feels like a good day for Reynor and a bad day for Hero. This early game is a disaster. That 4th hatchery It's coming up so fast. Roach Warren's here. Melee's here. Lings have map control. And you're just behind. Your upgrades are pretty damn late as hero as well. Blinken +1 just started at 550. Like, this is about 530 is when they started. He's going to go Templar Archives and 6 gas and try to play conservative. We'll see if Hero has the chops to just switch gears and slow this game down, because that's his best bet. Reynor is a lair tech boy. As I've said, I don't think he's particularly good at late game. I think a big part of that is he doesn't try to be. He just tries to, dominate the mid game. And he's going to go Overlord speed, so he's going to do the famous all-in. Soul has been spamming this one. He's going to drop Queens, go with about 10 to 15 Roaches, Ravagers, Mass Circling behind it. And defending this third will be tricky. But Hero, he's got a battery, he's got cannons. Templar Archives is almost finished. Storm can be very useful against this build. I think it's so important because this is a later version, but he needs to start that Storm pretty much immediately. And he does insta-chronos it. Look at this, 3 Overlords on the way. He's going to drop 2 Overlords of Zerglings, 16 Lings into the main. 1 Overlord will drop 4 Queens on the front to deal with the Oracles, and the main army will hit the front as well. Normally you want to hit from this angle, guys. The reason you want to hit from this left angle is you can attack into the third or the natural, and it forces the Protoss into the open. Whereas if you attack from one side, you've only got one route, and the Protoss can kind of do a fighting retreat in one direction. Whereas here, if they retreat into the natural, you push into the third. If they retreat into the third, you push into the natural, so your army can kind of pivot either to the left or to the right. And you can see Hero's pretty well defended against this positionally, but I don't think he fully knows it's happening. Even though his High Templar are in good spots, he needs more energy. He needs to be energy recharging them, which he hasn't done yet. And that's a big problem, guys. He's got energy recharge available, hasn't used it, has no idea what's happening. He's close to supply, but he's building 5 more gateways, but it's not ready. He's not been warping in Stalkers nonstop, and he needs to do that. He has no idea this push is coming, and what a surprise it is. Double Ling drop going towards the main. Lings and Queen drop on top of this third base. The High Templar's there. Storm is not quite ready. The High Templar dies just before Storm is ready. The units aren't here to defend. A new High Templar comes down. Good Storm there. Does get a few of his own probes, but also kills a bunch of Zerglings at the same time. Lings in the main are getting blocked by the cannon there. He's going to try and unload on top of it anyway. That's a crazy move. We've also got a Ling drop on the left side hitting that worker line. Probes and Stalkers trying to find out front. But look at that. He's going to try and overwhelm the cannon with 16 Lings there. Lings in the natural have breached, and Hero is just completely blindsided by this. Reynor mauling Hero in this series. What a good series this was for Reynor. He got wrecked by the Tempests in game 1, despite having a quick lair. Part of me is like, do you just need to counterattack with Mass Roachling? I don't even know what the best counter is to that Tempest build in game 1. Reynor clearly doesn't seem to know either, because I thought he had a pretty good response, and he still fell behind to it, but he fought back in game 1 like a hero. That Corruptor squad in game 1, it felt like Hero was so close to just bringing that whole series together. If game 1 went differently, I don't know. I feel like that Corruptor squad got under his skin, pumped his heart rate up, pumped up his adrenaline, and since then, it felt like Reynor was playing better and better, and Hero started to make more and more mistakes, and Reynor's counterattacks, his run-bys, his Lings just kept getting in game 2 and game 3, and Reynor takes a shocking 3-0 against Hero. Reynor goes to the top 8 of DreamHack Dallas. Hero is going to have to fight it out in the lower bracket here of Group B.